Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Do you sound good? How's everyone doing? This is like the ultimate commie celebration. You know, we should be very joyous and happy. We are here to commemorate the 172nd anniversary of the Communist Manifesto. This is like Commie New Year. We are very honored and proud to be articulating, coordinating this celebration with a lot of comrades throughout the world. It's important to mention that this commemoration that we are calling the Red Books celebration is one in New York of many around the world, folks in South Africa and India, other parts of the American continent, in Europe, are also commemorating in this day the 172nd anniversary of the Communist Manifesto. And why so important to commemorate what some folks might call a text. And I say some folks because that's kind of devaluing the importance of what the manifesto is. It's been a political orientation for many, many who have dared to fight systems and structures and create from the working class, for the working class, and to the working class. And so we should always remember that when we're talking about the Communist Manifesto, we're talking about an ideological orientation that has produced real life advances for the working class around the world. And that's why we are so honored to be able to commemorate it in this historical context, particularly when we see that there are larger attacks on socialist and communist practices and projects. We are living and experiencing moments of crisis where capitalism has its claw globally and is strangling a lot of the economies that have dared to move in a different direction. We see that with the attacks to Cuba, with the attacks to Venezuela, and what could potentially be the next Cold War with its attacks against China. And so for us, it's very important to be able to commemorate this and to have you all here and to know that we are connected as the working class in commemorating our radical legacies. So thank you so much for being here. I should probably say my name. My name is Claudia de la Cruz, and I'm one of the folks responsible for coordinating and making the space at the People's Forum possible. We're always happy to have folks come here. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is not, then happy to see you again. Keep coming. Without further ado, we're going to start the reading of the Communist Manifesto. It will be in different languages. So when you hear a language that you may not necessarily know, look at the screen. The language will be there that you speak, I promise. The English translations will be on screen, actually. So thank you so much again. We'll begin.
Okay, let's hear it for Claudia. Okay, good evening. How are you all doing? Wonderful, wonderful. We're talking about ghosts and spirits tonight, so I want to make sure we fill this space with the spirit, with a revolutionary spirit. Yes? Yes. All right. Okay. Good enough. Good evening. My name is Christina Heatherton. It gives me great pride to open tonight's Red Books Day with the start of the Communist Manifesto. I'm a talkative person. I'm going to say a few things before I start the book. And I want to say, just in preparing for this, I realized again how wild, how gothic, how punk this text is, especially its opening. It creeps in with the threat of a ghost. A specter is haunting Europe. It slowly builds with a theory of history, a history of struggle, your history of struggle, it says. Then spell, it convinces you of your strength, and it commands you, as the reader, to turn this damn world upside down. It is rageful, it is bright, it is loud, it is sarcastic, it's angry, and it's utterly unrepentant. And I am reminded of its visceral power whenever I teach it to young people. I teach about the histories of revolutionary struggle, and I often assign the manifesto Once while I was teaching at an elite liberal arts college in Connecticut, I taught it both to college students as well as high school students who were able to take my class through a special program. And I love teaching these high school students. While the elite college kids were usually often very uncomfortable and kind of tight-lipped, most of them really hated the sections about abolishing inheritance. It was the high school students, these young, mostly working class immigrant students who absolutely loved it. The first time I taught it, there was one young woman who raised her hand the entire class. She wanted to read and discuss every passage she had underlined. "I know I'm not supposed to like this," she said, "but I think this book is dope." Another year, a young man spent the whole semester referring to the text, but instead of talking about the working class, he'd pound the table and he kept talking about the power of the hard-working people, which was adorable. Teaching them, I saw how this text has captured the imaginations of people for centuries. The Manifesto, we should remember, was written by two young men, two young friends. One was an unkempt, unemployed, incredibly filthy, angry young man who liked to drink with his friend. And it's written with all the poetic rage you can have when you are young. This is the kind of rage that burns through you like a fire, the rage that rejects the shitty futures that you don't want to inherit, the rage that also brims with the wild hope that everything can change, that everything can change. Teaching these students, I remember what it feels like to be a young person reading this text, embracing this wild and luminous rage, what it feels like to be hurt, scared, and humiliated, what it feels like to rage at seeing the people you love being humiliated, rage at hearing people laugh at the humiliations of people like you, rage at the unfairness that sits on the very air you breathe, that strangles your future before you've even gotten a chance to taste it. Rage for the things that you know intimately, even if you don't quite know its full shape or even its name. This text gives it a name, capitalism. And it gives you the power to know that you and everyone being humiliated by it, those hardworking people, can together overthrow it. In 1848, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels published these words, and I'm going to try to say them in German. This is my contribution to the foreign language. Ein Gespenst geht in Europa, das Gespenst des Kommunismus. So begins this text of rage and glorious hope for a world we will tear down and rebuild together. And with that, it's my task to now open the Manifesto of the Communist Party. You guys ready? Yeah. All right, here we go. A specter is haunting Europe, the specter of communism. All the powers of old Europe have entered into a holy alliance to exorcise this specter. Pope and Tsar, Metternich and Guizot, French radicals and German police spies. Where is the party in opposition that has not been decried as communistic by its opponents in power? Where is the opposition that has not hurled back the branding reproach of communism against the more advanced opposition parties, as well as against its reactionary adversaries? Two things result from this fact. One, communism is already acknowledged by all European powers to be itself a power. Two, it is high time that communists should openly, in face of the whole world, yes, publish their views, their aims, their tendencies, and meet this nursery tale of the specter of communism with a manifesto of the party itself. To this end, communists of various nationalities have assembled in London and sketched the following manifesto to be published in English, French, German, Italian, Flemish, and Danish languages. So here we go. Chapter 1, Bourgeois and Proletarians. I can't believe I get to read this first line. Are you ready? Here we go. The history, and say it with me if you know it. It's written on this poster. The history of all hitherto existing societies is the history of class struggle. A+. Freeman and slave, patrician and plebeian, lord and serf, guildmaster and journeyman, in a word, oppressor and oppressed, stood in constant opposition to one another, carried on an uninterrupted, now hidden, now open fight, a fight that each time ended either in a revolutionary reconstitution of society at large or in the common ruin of the contending classes. In the earlier epochs of history, we find almost everywhere a complicated arrangement of society into various orders, a manifold gradation of social rank. In ancient Rome, we have patricians, knights, plebeians, and slaves. In the Middle Ages, feudal lords, vassals, guildmasters, journeymen, apprentices, serfs. In almost all of these classes, again, subordinate gradations. The modern bourgeois society that has sprouted from the ruins of feudal society has not done away with class antagonisms. It has but established new classes, new conditions of oppression, new forms of struggle in place of the old ones. Our epoch, the epoch of the bourgeoisie, possesses, however, this distinct feature. It has simplified class antagonisms. Society as a whole is more and more splitting up into two great hostile camps, into two great classes directly facing another. Again, if you know it, say it with me. The bourgeoisie and the proletariat. Okay, we'll do this together. From the serfs of the Middle Ages sprang the chartered burghers of the earliest towns. From these, burgesses of the first element of the bourgeoisie were developed. The discovery of America, the rounding of the Cape, opened up fresh ground for the rising bourgeoisie. The East Indian and Chinese market, the colonization of America, trade with the colonies, the increase in the means of exchange and in commodities generally, gave to commerce, to navigation, to industry, an impulse never before known, and thereby to the revolutionary element in the tottering feudal society, a rapid development. The feudal system of industry in which industrial production was monopolized by closed guilds now no longer suffices for the growing wants of the new markets. The manufacturing system took its place. The guild masters were pushed on one side by the manufacturing middle class. Division of labor between the different corporate guilds vanished in the face of division of labor in each single workshop. In the meantime, the markets kept ever growing, the demand ever rising. Even manufacture no longer sufficed. Thereupon, steam and machinery revolutionized industrial production. The place of manufacture was taken by the giant modern industry, the place of the industrial middle class by industrial millionaires, the leaders of the whole industrial armies, the modern bourgeoisie. Thank you.
My name is Natalia de Campos.
And Elion Troya.
We are proud members of the People's Forum and of the Defend Democracy in Brazil Committee. And our native language is Portuguese.
A grande indústria criou o mercado mundial preparado pela descoberta da América. O mercado mundial acelerou prodigiosamente o desenvolvimento do comércio, da navegação e dos meios de comunicação por terra. Esse desenvolvimento reagiu, por sua vez, sob a extensão da indústria. E à medida em que a indústria, o comércio e a navegação, as vias férreas se desenvolviam, crescia a burguesia, multiplicando seus capitais e relegando a segundo plano as classes legadas pela Idade Média.
Vemos, pois, que a própria burguesia moderna é o produto de um longo processo de desenvolvimento, de uma série de revoluções no modo de produção e de troca.
Cada etapa da evolução percorrida pela burguesia era acompanhada de um progresso político correspondente. Classe oprimida pelo despotismo feudal, associação armada administrando-se a si própria na comuna, aqui a República Urbana Independente, ali terceiro estado tributário da monarquia. Depois, durante o período manufatureiro, contrapeso da nobreza da monarquia feudal ou absoluta, pedra angular das grandes monarquias, a burguesia, desde o estabelecimento da grande indústria e do mercado mundial, conquistou finalmente a soberania política exclusiva no Estado representativo moderno. O governo moderno não é senão um comitê para gerir os negócios comuns de toda a classe burguesa.
A burguesia desempenhou na história um papel eminentemente revolucionário. Onde quer que tenha conquistado o poder, a burguesia calcou aos pés as relações feudais, patriarcais e idílicas. Todos os complexos e variados laços que prendiam um homem feudal aos seus superiores naturais, ela os despedaçou sem piedade para só deixar substituir, de homem para homem, o laço do frio interesse, as duras exigências do pagamento à vista. Afogou os fervores sagrados do êxtase religioso, do entusiasmo cavalheiresco, do sentimentalismo pequeno-burguês, nas águas geladas do cálculo egoísta. Fez da dignidade pessoal um simples valor de troca. Substituiu as numerosas liberdades conquistadas com tanto esforço pela única e implacável liberdade de comércio. Em uma palavra, em lugar da exploração velada por ilusões religiosas e políticas, a burguesia colocou uma exploração aberta, cínica, direta e brutal.
A burguesia despojou de sua auréola todas as atividades até então reputadas veneráveis e encorajadas com piedoso respeito. Do médico, do jurista, do sacerdote, do poeta, do sábio, fez seus servidores assalariados. A burguesia rasgou o véu do sentimentalismo que envolvia as relações de família e reduziu-as a simples relações monetárias.
A burguesia revelou como a brutal manifestação de força na Idade Média, tão admirada pela reação, encontra seu complemento natural na ociosidade mais completa. Foi a primeira a provar o que pode realizar a atividade humana. Criou maravilhas maiores que as pirâmides do Egito, os aquedutos romanos, as catedrais góticas. Conduziu expedições que empanaram mesmo as antigas invasões e as cruzadas.
A burguesia só pode existir com a condição de revolucionar incessantemente os instrumentos de produção. Por conseguinte, as relações de produção e, como isso, todas as relações sociais, a conservação inalterada do antigo modo de produção constituía, pelo contrário, a primeira condição de existência de todas as classes industriais anteriores. Essa revolução contínua da produção, esse abalo constante de todo o sistema social, essa agitação permanente e essa falta de segurança distinguem a época burguesa de todas as precedentes. Dissolvem-se todas as relações sociais antigas e cristalizadas com o seu cortejo de concepções e de ideias secularmente veneradas. As relações que as substituem tornam-se antiquadas antes de se ossificar. Tudo que era sólido e estável se esfuma. Tudo o que era sagrado é profanado. E os homens são obrigados, finalmente, a encarar com serenidade suas condições de existência e suas relações recíprocas. Impelida pela necessidade de mercados sempre novos, a burguesia invade todo o globo. Necessita estabelecer-se em toda parte, explorar em toda parte, criar vínculos em toda parte.
Pela exploração do mercado mundial, a burguesia imprime um caráter cosmopolita à produção e ao consumo em todos os países. Para desespero dos reacionários, ela retirou à indústria sua base nacional. As velhas indústrias nacionais foram destruídas e continuam a sê-lo diariamente. São suplantadas por novas indústrias, cuja introdução se torna uma questão vital para todas as nações civilizadas, indústrias que não empregam mais matérias-primas autóctones, mas sim matérias-primas vindas das regiões mais distantes, e cujos produtos se consomem não somente no próprio país, mas em todas as partes do globo. Em lugar das antigas necessidades satisfeitas pelos produtos nacionais, nascem novas necessidades, que reclamam para sua satisfação os produtos das regiões mais longínquas e dos climas mais diversos. Em lugar do antigo isolamento de regiões e nações que se bastavam a si próprias, desenvolvem-se um intercâmbio universal, uma universal interdependência das nações. E isto se refere tanto à produção material como à produção intelectual.
As criações intelectuais de uma nação tornam-se propriedade comum de todas. A estreiteza e o exclusivismo nacionais tornam-se cada vez mais impossíveis. Das inúmeras literaturas nacionais e locais, nasce uma literatura universal.
Devido ao rápido aperfeiçoamento dos instrumentos de produção e ao constante progresso dos meios de comunicação, a burguesia arrasta para a torrente da civilização mesmo as nações mais bárbaras. Os baixos preços de seus produtos são a artilharia pesada que destrói todas as muralhas da China e obriga a capitularem os bárbaros mais tenazmente hostis aos estrangeiros. Sob pena de morte, ela obriga todas as nações a adotarem um modo burguês de produção. Constrange-as a abraçar o que ela chama civilização, isto é, a se tornarem burguesas. Em uma palavra, cria um mundo à sua imagem e semelhança.
Good evening. I'm David Harvey, and I'm very happy to be here with Red Books celebrating this occasion in this wonderful space here in New York City called the People's Forum. I feel very much at home here, in part because my library is all over the walls. It's a great space to be in. So here, the next section of the Communist Manifesto. The bourgeoisie has subjected the country to the rule of the towns. It has created enormous cities, has greatly increased the urban population as compared with the rural, and has thus rescued a considerable part of the population from the idiocy of rural life. Just as it has made the country dependent on the towns, it has made barbarian and semi-barbarian countries dependent on the civilized ones, nations of peasants on nations of bourgeois, the East on the West. The bourgeoisie keeps more and more doing away with the scattered state of the population, of the means of production and of property. It has agglomerated population, centralized the means of production, and has concentrated property in a few hands. The necessary consequence of this was political centralization. Independent or but loosely connected provinces with separate interests, laws, governments and systems of taxation became lumped together into one nation, with one government, one code of laws, one national class interest, one frontier, and one customs tariff. The bourgeoisie, during its rule of scarce 100 years, has created more massive and more colossal productive forces than have all preceding generations together. Subjection of nature's forces to man, machinery, application of chemistry to industry and agriculture, steam navigation, railways, electric telegraphs, clearing of whole continents for cultivation, canalization of rivers, whole populations conjured out of the ground. What earlier century had even a presentment of such productive forces slumbered in the lap of social labour? We see then the means of production and of exchange, on whose foundation the bourgeoisie built itself up, were generated in feudal society. At a certain stage in the development of these means of production and of exchange, the conditions under which feudal society produced an exchange, the feudal organization of agriculture and manufacturing industry, in one word, the feudal relations of property, became no longer compatible with the already developed productive forces. They became so many fetters. They had to be burst asunder. They were burst asunder. Into their place stepped free competition, accompanied by a social and political constitution adapted in it, and the economic and political sway of the bourgeois class. A similar movement is going on before our own eyes. Modern bourgeois society, with its relations of production, of exchange and of property, a society that has conjured up such gigantic means of production and of exchange, is like the sorcerer, who is no longer able to control the powers of the netherworld, whom he has called up by his spells. For many a decade past, the history of industry and commerce is but the history of the revolt of modern productive forces against modern conditions of production, against the property relations that are the conditions for the existence of the bourgeois and of its rules. It is enough to mention the commercial crises, that by their periodical return put the existence of the entire bourgeois society on its trial, each time more threateningly. In these crises, a great part not only of the existing products, but also of the previously created productive forces are periodically destroyed. In these crises, there breaks out an epidemic that in all earlier epochs would have seemed an absurdity, the epidemic of overproduction. Society suddenly finds itself put back into a state of momentary barbarism. It appears as if a famine, a universal war of devastation, had cut off the supply of every means of subsistence. Industry and commerce seem to be destroyed. And why? Because there is too much civilization, too much means of subsistence, too much industry, too much commerce. The productive forces at the disposal of society no longer tend to further the development of the conditions of bourgeois property. On the contrary, they have become too powerful for these conditions by which they are fettered. And so soon as they overcome these fetters, they bring disorder into the whole of bourgeois society, endanger the existence of bourgeois property. The conditions of bourgeois society are too narrow to comprise the wealth created by them. And how does the bourgeoisie get over these crises? On the one hand, by enforced destruction of a mass of productive forces. On the other, by the conquest of new markets, and by the more thorough exploitation of the old ones. That is to say, by paving the way for more extensive and more destructive crises, and by diminishing the means whereby crises are prevented. The weapons with which the bourgeoisie felled feudalism to the ground are now turned against the bourgeoisie itself. But not only has the bourgeoisie forged the weapons that bring death to itself, it has also called into existence the men who are to wield these weapons, the modern working class, the proletarians. In proportion as the bourgeoisie, i.e. capital, is developed, in the same proportion is the proletariat, the modern working class, developed. A class of labourers who live only so long as they find work, and who find work only so long as their labour increases capital. These labourers, who must sell themselves piecemeal, are a commodity, like every other article of commerce, and are consequently exposed to all the vicissitudes of competition, to all the fluctuations of the market.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Andy Damas. I'm a member of the People's Forum. I'm about to read in Creole. Développement machine là, ak division travail là, fait travail poète yo perdi tout sens yo, indépendance li, kon sa toute machine li. Pour dicter a vin yon simple morceau nan machine là. Ça yo mande le fait, c'est uniquement geste, manière qui pi simple, pi raz, pi facile pour apprendre li. Égal, frais production, force travail là, li c'est presque carrément moyen subitement li besoin pour capable kembe tête li en vie et puis l'agi famille. Mais pour yon marchandise qui donc ça fait force travail li. Là tout égal frais production égal plus travail la vin dégoûtant c'est plus salaire à baisser. Pi red nan men production côté utilisation machine yo ak division travail yo augmenter. C'est ça même promotion ak quantité travail augmenté qui fait dans longe journée travail là quitter ces mêmes augmentation travail là excusez qui tout fait nam yo tout esprit activité qui plus rapide machine yo etc. Industrie moderne la fait ti atelier grandet yo vin tourner grand factory, capital industria. Moun ouvrier yo gonfle ko yo nan factory, excuse me. Côté yo organisation tant kou soldat. Tant simple soldat dans l'armée industrielle là, yo placé en bas. C'est vraiment tout yon hiérarchie officier ak souverain non seulement yo esclave classe bourgeois ak l'état bourgeois et même en pile chaque jour qui joue chaque étant yon sibi tyrannie machine là ensemble ak supériorité et puis avant toute bagaille tyrannie industrielle bourgeois yo mais tyrannie ça a doutan pi minski raïsement empisotable peut-être si yo déclaré bien fort ça tes profits mais travail manuel ak un travail manuel là ak exiske habilité ak force qui donc plus industrie moderne là a développé c'est plus travail garçon ou été koyo by femme ak ti moun différence nan l'âge ak sek vin pa gen aucune signification sociale pour classe ou rivière yo tout vin zouti travail qui piche ou même cher pour you utiliser selon l'âge yo ak sek yo. À peine exploitation patron ak sous-travail yo fini pour moment yo contrôler salaire pour yo payer mais les travail la lagé en bas l'autre à peine exploitation pardon sous travail a fini pour moment yo contrôler salaire pour yo payer mais les travail la lagé en bas l'autre qualité bourgeois yo propriétaire kaila li met boukit la met plan couche qui pa bay nan classe moyenne yo ti industriel yo puis commencer ak moun k'ap vive sous rang ti artisan ti paysan tout classe là yo ap choix nan potelérami soit ti capital yo ap permettre yo produit sous même échelle à grand industrie yo qui fait kontiran pi gros capital yo éliminer yo soit technique et spécialiste yo te gen envie perdi toute valeur yo devant moun méthode production yo comme ça pour l'oterari yo sorti dans toute classe dans saint potiation pour l'état a gen différentes phases dans développement depuis le fait li ti kon la bourgeoisie tenmen dans commencement c'est ouvrier dégrené qui mène lit là après ça ouvrier yon factory vin ap mène enfin vin gagner ouvrier yon branche industrie nan yon seul côté qui vin goumen contre tel bourgeois ak exploitation yo directement yap dire yo attaqué non seulement contre système bourgeois production mais tout kon industrie production yo même détruit marchandises qui sorti dans pays étranger et puis qui fait concurrence ak ça qui saute dans force travail pa yo. Yo krasé machine nan miette morceau. Yo mette di fe nan usine. Yo bat pour rejoindre position sociale travail époque fédérale là qui fin disparaître. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jack Norton. I'm very happy to be with you here at the People's Forum tonight. At this stage, the laborers still form an incoherent mass scattered over the whole country and broken up by their mutual competition. If anywhere they unite to form more compact bodies, this is not yet the consequence of their own active union, but of the union of the bourgeoisie, which class, in order to attain its own political ends, is compelled to set the whole proletariat in motion, and is moreover yet, for a time, able to do so. At this stage, therefore, the proletarians do not fight their enemies, but the enemies of their enemies, the remnants of the absolute monarchy, the landowners, the non-industrial bourgeois, the petty bourgeois. Thus, the whole historical movement is concentrated in the hands of the bourgeoisie. Every victory so obtained is a victory for the bourgeoisie. But with the development of industry, the proletariat not only increases in number, it becomes concentrated in greater masses. Its strength grows, and it feels that strength more. The various interests and conditions of life within the ranks of the proletariat are more and more equalized in proportion as machinery obliterates all distinctions of labor, and nearly everywhere reduces wages to the same low level. The growing competition among the bourgeois and the resulting commercial crises make the wages of the workers ever more fluctuating. The increasing improvement of machinery, ever more rapidly developing, makes their livelihood more and more precarious. The collisions between individual workmen and individual bourgeois take more and more the character of collisions between two classes. Thereupon, the workers begin to form combinations, trade unions, against the bourgeois. They clubbed together in order to keep up the rate of wages. They found permanent associations in order to make provision beforehand for these occasional revolts. Here and there, the contest breaks out into riots. Now and then the workers are victorious, but only for a time. The real fruit of their battle lies not in the immediate result, but in the ever-expanding union of the workers. This union is helped on by the improved means of communication that are created by modern industry, and that place the workers of different localities in contact with one another. It was just this contact that was needed to centralize the numerous local struggles, all of the same character, into one national struggle between classes. But every class struggle is a political struggle, and that union, to attain which the burghers of the Middle Ages with their miserable highways required centuries, the modern proletarian, thanks to the railways, achieve in a few years. This organization of the proletarians into a class and consequently into a political party is continually being upset by the competition between the workers themselves. But it ever rises up again, stronger, firmer, mightier. It compels legislative recognition of particular interests of the workers by taking advantage of the divisions among the bourgeoisie itself. Thus, the 10 hours bill in England was carried. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mariam Al Hayes. I'm from Cairo, Egypt, and I'll be doing the reading in Arabic. Excuse me. وعموما فإن صدمات المجتمع القديم تدفع بطرق شتى بتطوير البروليتاريا قدما. فالبرجوازية تعيش في صراع دائم في البدء ضد الأرستقراطية، ثم ضد تلك الأقسام من البرجوازية نفسها التي تتناقض مصالحها مع تقدم الصناعة، ثم بصورة دائمة ضد برجوازية جميع البلدان الأجنبية. وفي كل هذه الصراعات تجد البرجوازية نفسها مضطرة إلى الاستنجاد بالبروليتاريا وطلب معونتها، وبذلك تجرها إلى المعترك السياسي. وهكذا فإن البرجوازية نفسها هي التي تزود البروليتاريا بعناصرها التثقيفية، أي بالأسلحة التي ترتد عليها. وإضافة إلى ذلك وكما رأينا من قبل فإن أقساما بكاملها من الطبقة السائدة تنحدر بفعل تقدم الصناعة إلى البروليتاريا أو تتهدد على الأقل بأوضاعها المعيشية، وهذه الأقسام تمد البروليتاريا أيضا بطائفة من العناصر التثقيفية. وأخيرا عندما يقترب الصراع الطبقي من الحسم تتخذ عملية التفسخ داخل الطبقة السائدة وداخل المجتمع القديم بأسره، تتخذ طابعا عنيفا وحادا إلى حد أن قسما صغيرا من الطبقة السائدة ينسلخ عنها وينضم إلى الطبقة الثورية، إلى الطبقة التي تحمل بين يديها المستقبل. ومثلما انتقل في الماضي قسم من النبلاء إلى البرجوازية ينتقل الآن قسم من البرجوازية إلى البروليتاريا، لا سيما هذا القسم من الأيديولوجيين البرجوازيين الذين ارتفعوا إلى مستوى الفهم النظري لمجمل الحركة التاريخية. ومن بين جميع الطبقات التي تناهض البرجوازية اليوم فإن البروليتاريا وحدها هي الطبقة الثورية حقا، فالطبقات الأخرى تنهار وتتلاشى أمام الصناعة الكبيرة، والبروليتاريا هي نتاجها الخاص. والطبقات الوسطى أي من الصناعي الصغير والتاجر الصغير أو الحرفي الصغير أو الفلاح الصغير كلها تحارب البرجوازية للحفاظ على وجودها كطبقات وسطى من التلاشي، فهي إذن ليست ثورية بل محافظة. وفضلا عن ذلك إنها رجعية تسعى إلى جعل عجلة التاريخ ترجع القهقري، وإذا وقع لها أن تكون ثورية فذلك نظرا إلى انتقالها الوشيك الوقوع إلى البروليتاريا، وهي بذلك لا تدافع عن مصالحها الراهنة بل عن مصالحها المقبلة، فتتخلى عن موقعها الخاص لتتبنى وجهة نظر البروليتاريا. أما اللومبن بروليتاريا أي دون أو تحت البروليتاريا هي النتن المستسلم أي حثالة الفئات الدنيا من المجتمع القديم، فإنها قد تنجرف هنا وهناك في الحركة بفعل ثورة بروليتارية، لكنها بحكم وضعها الحياتي كله تصبح أكثر استعدادا لبيع نفسها لمكائد الرجعية. شكرا.
Okay, good evening. I'm Jordan Camp. I'm Director of Research here at the People's Forum. Also, before I read my section, I want to plug our friends from International Publishers are here. If you don't have a copy of the Communist Manifesto, they'll sell you one, I'm sure, as well as other classics in the Marxist tradition. So I really invite you to purchase some copies. Okay, now I'll read. In the condition of the proletariat, those of old society at large are already virtually swamped. The proletarian is without property. His relation to his wife and children has no longer anything in common with the bourgeois family relations, modern industry, labor, modern subjection to capital, the same in England as in France, in America as in Germany, has stripped him of every trace of national character. Law, morality, religion are to him so many bourgeois prejudices, behind which lurk in ambush just as many bourgeois interests. All the preceding classes that got the upper hand sought to fortify their already acquired status by subjecting society at large to their conditions of appropriation. The proletarians cannot become masters of the productive forces of society except by abolishing their own previous mode of appropriation, and thereby also every other previous mode of appropriation. They have nothing of their own to secure and to fortify. Their mission is to destroy all previous securities for and insurances of individual property. All previous historical movements were movements of minorities, or in the interest of minorities. The proletarian movement is the self-conscious, independent movement of the immense majority, in the interest of the immense majority. The proletariat, the lowest stratum of our present society, cannot stir, cannot raise itself up without the whole superincumbent strata of official society being sprung into the air. Though not in substance, yet in form, the struggle of the proletariat with the bourgeoisie is at first a national struggle. The proletariat of each country must, of course, first of all settle matters with its own bourgeoisie. In depicting the most general phases of the development of the proletariat, we trace the more or less veiled civil war, raging within existing society, up to the point where that war breaks out into open revolution, and where the violent overthrow of the bourgeoisie lays the foundation for the sway of the proletariat. Hitherto, every form of society has been based, as we have already seen, on the antagonism of oppressing and oppressed classes. But in order to oppress a class, certain conditions must be assured to it under which it can at least continue its slavish existence. The serf in the period of serfdom raised himself up to the membership in the commune, just as the petty bourgeois, under the yoke of feudal absolutism, managed to develop into a bourgeois. The modern laborer, on the contrary, instead of rising with the process of industry, sinks deeper and deeper below the conditions of existence of his own class. And here it becomes evident that the bourgeoisie is unfit any longer to be the ruling class in the society and to impose its conditions of existence upon society as an overriding law. It is unfit to rule because it is incompetent to assure an existence to its slave within his slavery, because it cannot let him help letting him sink into such a state that it has to feed him instead of being fed by him. Society can no longer live under this bourgeoisie. In other words, its existence is no longer compatible with society. One more paragraph. The essential condition for the existence and for the sway of the bourgeoisie class is the formation and augmentation of capital. The condition of capital is wage labor. Wage labor rests exclusively on competition between the laborers. The advance of industry, whose involuntary promoter is the bourgeoisie, replaces the isolation of the laborers due to the competition by the revolutionary combination due to association. The development of modern industry, therefore, cuts from under its feet the very foundation on which the bourgeoisie produces and appropriates products. What the bourgeoisie, therefore, produces above all are its own gravediggers. Its fall and the victory of the proletariat are equally inevitable. Yeah.
My name's Arun Kundanani. Very happy to be here reading this wonderful book in this wonderful place. I'll be reading in English. So, Chapter 2, Proletarians and Communists. In what relation do the communists stand to the proletarians as a whole? The communists do not form a separate party opposed to the other working class parties. They have no interests separate and apart from those of the proletariat as a whole. They do not set up any sectarian principles of their own by which to shape and mould the proletarian movement. The communists are distinguished from the other working class parties by this only. 1. In the national struggles of the proletarians of the different countries, they point out and bring to the front the common interests of the entire proletariat, independently of all nationality. 2. In the various stages of development which the struggle of the working class against the bourgeoisie has to pass through, they always and everywhere represent the interests of the movement as a whole. The communists, therefore, are on the one hand practically the most advanced and resolute section of the working class parties of every country, that section which pushes forward all others. On the other hand, theoretically, they have over the great mass of the proletariat the advantage of clearly understanding the line of march, the conditions, and the ultimate general results of the proletarian movement. The immediate aim of the communists is the same as that of all other proletarian parties: formation of the proletariat into a class, overthrow of the bourgeois supremacy, conquest of political power by the proletariat. The theoretical conclusions of the communists are in no way based on ideas or principles that have been invented or discovered by this or that would-be universal reformer. They merely express, in general terms, actual relations springing from an existing class struggle, from a historical movement going on under our very eyes. The abolition of existing property relations is not at all a distinctive feature of communism. All property relations in the past have continually been subject to historical change, consequent upon the change in historical conditions. The French Revolution, for example, abolished feudal property in favour of bourgeois property. The distinguishing feature of communism is not the abolition of property generally, but the abolition of bourgeois property. But modern bourgeois private property is the final and most complete expression of the system of producing and appropriating products that is based on class antagonisms, on the exploitation of the many by the few. In this sense, the theory of the communists may be summed up in the single sentence: abolition of private property. We communists have been reproached with the desire of abolishing the right of personally acquiring property as the fruit of a man's own labour, which property is alleged to be the groundwork of all personal freedom, activity and independence. Hard-won, self-acquired, self-earned property. Do you mean the property of petty artisan and of a small peasant, a form of property that preceded the bourgeois form? There's no need to abolish that. The development of industry has to a great extent already destroyed it, and is still destroying it daily. Or do you mean the modern bourgeois private property? But does wage labour create any property for the labourer? Not a bit. It creates capital, i.e. that kind of property which exploits wage labour and which cannot increase except upon condition of begetting a new supply of wage labour for fresh exploitation. Property in its present form is based on the antagonism of capital and wage labour. Let us examine both sides of this antagonism. To be a capitalist is to have not only a purely personal but a social status in production. Capital is a collective product, and only by the united action of many members, nay, in the last resort, only by the united action of all members of society, can it be set in motion. Capital is therefore not only personal, it is a social power. When therefore capital is converted into common property, into the property of all members of society, personal property is not thereby transformed into social property. It is only the social character of the property that is changed. It loses its class character. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Layanne and I work here at the People's Forum and I'm going to read this section in French. Arrivons au travail salarié. Le prix moyen de travail salarié, c'est le minimum du salaire, c'est-à-dire la somme des moyens de subsistance nécessaires pour maintenir en vie l'ouvrier en tant qu'ouvrier. Par conséquent, ce que l'ouvrier s'approprie par son labeur est tout juste suffisant pour reproduire sa vie ramenée à sa plus simple expression. Nous ne voulons en aucune façon abolir cette appropriation personnelle des produits du travail indispensable à la reproduction de la vie de lendemain, cette appropriation ne laissant aucun profit n'est que confère un pouvoir sur le travail d'autrui. Ce que nous voulons, c'est supprimer ce triste mot d'appropriation qui fait que l'ouvrier ne vit que pour accroître le capital et ne vit qu'autant que l'exigent les intérêts de la classe dominante. Dans la société bourgeoise, le travail vivant n'est qu'un moyen d'accroître le travail accumulé. Dans la société communiste, le travail accumulé n'est qu'un moyen d'élargir, d'enrichir et d'embellir l'existence de travailleurs. Dans la société bourgeoise, le passé domine donc le présent. Dans la société communiste, c'est le présent qui domine le passé. Dans la société bourgeoise, le capital est indépendant et personnel, tandis que l'individu qui travaille n'a ni indépendance ni personnalité. Et c'est l'abolition d'un pareil état des choses que la bourgeoisie flétrit comme l'abolition de l'individualité et de la liberté, et avec raison, car il s'agit effectivement d'abolir l'individualité, l'indépendance, la liberté bourgeoise. Par liberté, dans les conditions actuelles de la production bourgeoise, on entend la liberté du commerce, la liberté d'acheter et de vendre. Mais si le trafic disparaît, le libre trafic disparaît aussi. Au reste, tous les grands mots sur la liberté du commerce, du même que toutes les forfanteries libérales de notre bourgeoisie, n'ont un sens que par contraste avec le trafic entravé avec le bourgeois asservi du Moyen-Âge. Ils n'ont aucun sens lorsqu'il s'agit de l'abolition par le communisme du trafic, du régime bourgeois, de la production et de la bourgeoisie elle-même. Vous, vous êtes saisis d'horreur parce que nous voulons abolir la propriété privée. Mais dans votre société, la propriété privée est abolie pour les 9/10 de ses membres. C'est précisément parce qu'elle n'existe pas pour ces 9/10 qu'elle existe pour vous. Vous nous reprochez donc de vouloir abolir une forme de propriété qui ne peut exister qu'à la condition que l'immense majorité soit frustrée de toute propriété. En un mot, vous nous accusez de vouloir abolir votre propriété à vous. En vérité, c'est bien ce que nous voulons. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Petra.
Hello. I'm Mike. We are anti-imperialist and anti-fascist activists from the Philippines, where a civil war has been raging in the countryside for decades, just like in India and Turkey and many other countries.
And we're here to speak in Filipino. Sa sandaling hindi na magagawang kapital, salapi o upa ang paggawa, hindi na ito maaaring gawing isang kapangyarihang panlipunan na pwedeng monopolisahin. Ibig sabihin, sa sandaling hindi na magagawang burges ang napag-aari o kapital ang individual na pag-aari, sa sandaling iyon, ayon sa inyo, naglalaho ang individualidad. Sa makatwid, dapat aminin ninyo na ang ibig niyong sabihin sa individual ay walang iba kundi ang burges na tao, ang panggit ng uring may-ari ng propiedad. Dapat ngang kalusin at gawing imposible ang ganitong tao. Hindi inaalisan ng komunismo ang sino man ng kapangyarihang angkinin ang mga produkto ng lipunan. Ang tanging ginagawa nito ay alisan siya ng kapangyarihan na angkinin ang paggawa ng iba sa pamamagitan ng ganoong paglilikom. Itinututol na sa abolisyon ng pribadong pag-aari, titigil ang lahat ng pagtatrabaho at mangingibabaw sa atin ang universal na katamaran. Sang-ayon sa ganitong pangangatwiran, dapat matagal nang nabulok ang lipunang burges dahil sa tahasang katamaran. Dahil ang mga miyembro nito na nagtatrabaho ay walang naaangkin at ang mga nakakaangkin ng anupaman ay hindi nagtatrabaho. Ang kabubuan na pagtutol na ito ay isa lamang ekspresyon sa sumusunod na totolohiya. Hindi na maaaring magkaroon ng sahurang paggawa kung wala ng kapital.
Lahat ng pagtutol na iniiupat laban sa komunistikong moda sa paglikha at apropriasyon ng material ng mga produkto ay iniuupat sa gayon ding paraan laban sa komunistikong moda sa paglikha at apropriasyon ng mga produktong intelektual, katulad ng ang paglalaho ng makauring pag-aari para sa burges ay ang paglalaho ng produksyon mismo. Ganoon din, para sa kanya ang paglalaho ay makauring kultura ay katumbas ng paglalaho ng lahat ng kultura. Para sa napakalaking mayorya, ang kulturang iyon na ipinanaghoy ng burges ang paglalaho ay isang simpleng pagsasanay na kumilos na parang makina. Gayunman, huwag na kayong makipagtalo sa amin hanggang nilalapat ninyo sa aming nilalayong abolisyon ng burges na pag-aari ang pamantayan ng inyong burges na mga ideyang kalayaan, kultura, batas at iba pa. Ang mga ideya ninyo mismo ay iniluwal lamang ng mga kondisyon ng inyong burges na produksyon at burges na pag-aari. Gaya ng ang inyong sistema ng batas ay kapasahan lamang ng inyong uri na ginawang batas para sa lahat. Isang kapasahan na ang esensyal na katangian at direksyon ay tinatakda ng mga kalagayan sa ekonomiya ng pag-iral ng inyong uri. Ang makasariling maling kuro-kuro na nagtutulak sa inyong itransforma bilang eternal na mga batas ng kalikasan at pangatwiran ang mga anyong panlipunan na iniluluwal ng inyong kasalukuyang moda sa produksyon at anyo ng pag-aari, historikong mga relasyon na lumilitaw at naglalaho sa pag-unlad ng produksyon. Katulad ninyo, ang maling kuro-kurong ito ay maling kuro-kuro ng lahat ng naghaharing uri na nauna sa inyo. Ang inyong malinaw na nakikita sa kaso ng sinaunang pag-aari, ang inyong inaamin sa kaso ng feudal na pag-aari. Mangyari pa ay hindi ninyo pwedeng aminin sa kaso ng inyong sariling burges na anyo ng pag-aari. Maraming salamat po.
Hi, I'm Shayoni, and I will be reading in Hindi. A quick word on the translation. The translation I'm reading from is by Comrade Suhasini Ali. She is herself a member of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, and as you will see somewhat fortuitously for the selection I'm reading from, she's also the current president of AIDWA, the All India Democratic Women's Association. So, I apologize for those who understand Hindi. I will be butchering her beautiful, beautiful lyrical translation. परिवार का खात्मा। सार्वत्रिक उग्र अतिवादी भी कम्युनिस्टों के इस खुफिया सुझाव से भड़क उठते हैं। मौजूदा परिवार, पूंजीवादी परिवार, किस बुनियाद पर टिका हुआ है? पूंजी पर और व्यक्तिगत मुनाफे पर। अपने पूर्ण विकसित रूप में इस परिवार का अस्तित्व केवल पूंजीपतियों में होता है, लेकिन इन्हीं परिस्थितियों के पूरक सर्वहारा के बीच व्यावहारिक रूप में परिवार के अभाव और सार्वजनिक वैश्यवृत्ति में मिलती है। जब उसका पूरा गायब होगा, तब पूंजीवादी परिवार भी अपने आप गायब होगा, और दोनों ही पूंजी के गायब होने के साथ गायब हो जाएंगे। आप हम पर आरोप लगाते हैं कि हम माँ बाप द्वारा बच्चों का शोषण बंद करना चाहते हैं। हम इस अपराध का दोषी हैं। लेकिन आप कहते हैं जब घरेलू शिक्षा के स्थान पर हम सामाजिक शिक्षा लाते हैं, तब हम सबसे अधिक पवित्र रिश्ता का नाश कर देते हैं। और आपकी शिक्षा, जिन सामाजिक परिस्थितियों में तुम पढ़ाते हो, समाज के प्रत्यक्ष व अप्रत्यक्ष हस्तक्षेप द्वारा, स्कूल इत्यादि द्वारा, क्या वो तुम्हारी शिक्षा को सामाजिक नहीं बनाता, उसको प्रभावित नहीं करता? कम्युनिस्टों ने शिक्षा में समाज के हस्तक्षेप को तय नहीं किया है। वो सिर्फ इस हस्तक्षेप के चरित्र को बदलना चाहते हैं और शिक्षा को शासक वर्ग के प्रभाव से बचाना चाहते हैं। परिवार, शिक्षा, माँ बाप और बच्चों के बीच पवित्र रिश्ते के बारे में पूंजीवादी बकवास तब और भी ज्यादा घृणित होती है जब आधुनिक उद्योग अपने कर्मों से सर्वहारा के पारिवारिक रिश्तों को फोड़ देते हैं और उनके बच्चों को वाणिज्य की साधारण वस्तुएं और श्रम के साधनों में परिवर्तित कर देते हैं। लेकिन पूंजीवादी एक साथ चीखते हैं कि तुम कम्युनिस्ट महिलाओं का सामूहिकरण कर देना चाहते हो। पूंजीपति अपनी पत्नी के केवल उत्पादन के साधन के रूप में देखते हैं। उसने सुना है कि उत्पादन के साधनों का सामूहिक शोषण होने वाला है, इसीलिए वो इस नतीजे के अलावा किसी दूसरे पर नहीं पहुंच सकता है कि यही हश्र महिलाओं को भी होने वाला है। उसको इस बात का संदेह भी नहीं हो सकता कि असली मकसद तो महिलाओं को उत्पादन के साधन बनाने वाली स्थिति को ही समाप्त किया जाना है। बाकी पूंजीपतियों का उस महिलाओं के समूह के प्रति नैतिक रोष, जिसके वो कम्युनिस्टों द्वारा खुले और औपचारिक तौर पर स्थापित करने का स्वंग भरते हैं, से ज्यादा हास्यास्पद कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता। कम्युनिस्टों को स्वतंत्र प्रेम का परिचय देने का कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। ये तो अप्राचीन काल से चला आ रहा है। सर्वहारा की बहु बेटियां का उनके द्वारा इस्तेमाल करने और मामूली वैश्याओं के बारे में बात करने की आवश्यकता ही नहीं है। हमारे पूंजीपतियों तो इनसे भी संतोष नहीं होते। एक दूसरे की पत्नियों को पटाने में उन्हें सबसे ज्यादा मजा आता है। दरअसल पूंजीवादी विवाह पत्नियों के आम समूह का प्रणाली है। कम्युनिस्टों पर ज्यादा से ज्यादा ये आरोप लग सकता है कि ढोंगी और छिपाए जाने वाले प्रणाली की जगह वो खुले और कानूनी स्वतंत्र प्रेम की प्रणाली का आरंभ चाहते हैं। बाकी ये तो स्वस्थापित है कि वर्तमान उत्पादन की प्रणाली के खत्मे से के साथ ही उससे उत्पन्न होने वाले स्वतंत्र प्रेम यानी सार्वजनिक और निजी वैश्यावृत्ति भी समाप्त हो जाएगी। कम्युनिस्टों पर यह आरोप लगाया जाता है कि वो राष्ट्र और राष्ट्रीयता को समाप्त करना चाहते हैं। श्रमिकों का कोई देश नहीं होता है। जो उनके पास है ही नहीं वो उनसे छीना भी नहीं जा सकता। चूंकि सर्वहारा को पहले राजनीतिक वर्चस्व हासिल करना होगा, उसे राष्ट्र की नेतृत्वकारी वर्ग बनाना होगा, उसे अपने आप राष्ट्र की स्थापना करनी होगी। इसलिए वो राष्ट्रवादी है, लेकिन उस शब्द के पूंजीवादी अर्थ में नहीं। पूंजीपति वर्ग के विकास, वाणिज्य की स्वतंत्रता, विश्व बाजार, उत्पादन के तरीके और उससे जुड़े जीवन की परिस्थितियों में एकरूपता के कारण राष्ट्रीय विभिन्नता और लोगों के बीच भीषणता रोज घट रही है। सर्वहारा की आधिपत्य की स्थिति में ये अधिक तेजी से गायब होंगे। कम से कम विकसित और सभ्य देशों की एकता वृद्ध कार्यवाही सर्वहारा की मुक्ति की पहली शर्तों में एक है। जिस अनुपात में ये व्यक्ति द्वारा दूसरे का शोषण समाप्त हो जाएगा, उसी अनुपात से एक राष्ट्र द्वारा दूसरे का शोषण भी समाप्त होगा। जिस अनुपात से एक राष्ट्र के अंतर्गत वर्गों के बीच वैमनस्य समाप्त होगा, उसी अनुपात से एक राष्ट्र और दूसरे के बीच का वैमनस्य भी समाप्त होगा। धन्यवाद।
Good evening. My name's Manu. Very happy to be with you and others around the world. The charges against communism, made from a religious, philosophical, and generally from an ideological standpoint, are not deserving of serious examination. Does it require deep intuition to comprehend that man's ideas, views, and conception, in one word, man's consciousness, changes with every change in the conditions of his material existence, in his social relations, and in his social life? What else does the history of ideas prove than that intellectual production changes its character in proportion as material production is changed? The ruling ideas of each age have ever been the ideas of its ruling class. When people speak of the ideas that revolutionize society, they do but express that fact that within the old society, the elements of a new one have been created, and that the dissolution of the old ideas keeps even pace with the dissolution of the old conditions of existence. When the ancient world was in its last throes, the ancient religions were overcome by Christianity. When Christian ideas succumbed in the 18th century to rationalist ideas, feudal society fought its death battle with the then revolutionary bourgeoisie. The ideas of religious liberty and freedom of conscience merely gave expression to the sway of free competition within the domain of knowledge. Undoubtedly, it will be said, religious, moral, philosophical, and juridical ideas have been modified in the course of historical development. But religion, morality, philosophy, political science, and law constantly survive this change. There are besides eternal truths such as freedom, justice, etc., that are common to all states of society. But communism abolishes eternal truths. It abolishes all religion and all morality instead of constituting them on a new basis. It therefore acts in contradiction to all past historical experience. What does this accusation reduce itself to? The history of all past society has consisted in the development of class antagonisms, antagonisms that assume different forms at different epochs. But whatever form they may have taken, one fact is common to all past ages: the exploitation of one part of society by the other. No wonder, then, that the social consciousness of past ages, despite all the multiplicity and variety it displays, moves with certain common forms or general ideas which cannot completely vanish, except with the total disappearance of class antagonisms. The communist revolution is the most radical rupture with traditional property relations. No wonder that its development involved the most radical rupture with traditional ideas. But let us have done with the bourgeois objections to communism.
Yeah, they got me running up and down the stairs. Hello, everybody. My honor and privilege to be here on this occasion. My name is Willie Baptist, like a Baptist church. I work with the Popular Education Project. I'm a member of the National Union of the Homeless that's reestablishing itself. We're developing locals throughout the country, organizing homeless folks, organizing the bottom, what the people that the Manifesto is talking about. We have seen above that the first step in the revolution by the working class is to raise the proletariat to the position of ruling class, to win the battle of democracy. The proletariat will use its political supremacy to wrest, by degrees, all capital from the bourgeoisie, to centralize all instruments of production in the hands of the state, that is, of the proletariat organized as the ruling class, and to increase the total productive forces as rapidly as possible. Of course, in the beginning, this cannot be effected except by means of despotic inroads on the rights of property and on the conditions of bourgeois production, by means of measures, therefore, which appear economically insufficient and untenable, but which, in the course of the movement, outstrip themselves, necessitate further inroads upon the old social order, and are unavoidable as a means of entirely revolutionizing the mode of production. These measures will, of course, be different in different countries. Nevertheless, in the most advanced countries, the following will be pretty generally applicable. 1, abolition of property in the land and application of all rent of land to public purposes. 2, a heavy progressive or graduated income tax. 3, abolition of all rights of inheritance. 4, confiscation of the property of all immigrants and rebels. 5, centralization of credit in the hands of the state by means of a national bank with state capital and an exclusive monopoly. 6, centralization of the means of communication and transport in the hands of the state. 7, extension of factories and instruments of production owned by the state, the bringing into cultivation of wastelands and the improvement of the soil generally in accordance with a common plan. 8, equal liability of all to labor, establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. 9, combination of agriculture with manufacturing industries, gradual abolition of the distinction between town and country by a more equitable distribution of the population over the country. 10, free education for all children in public education, in public schools. Abolition of children's factory labor in its present form, combination of education with industrial production, etc., etc. When in the course of development, class distinction have disappeared and all production has been concentrated in the hands of a vast association of the whole nation, the public power will lose its political character. Political power, properly so-called, is merely the organized power of one class for the oppressing another. If the proletariat during its contest with the bourgeoisie is compelled by the force of circumstances to organize itself as a class, if by means of a revolution it makes itself the ruling class, and as such sweep away by force the old conditions of production, then it will, along with these conditions, have swept away the conditions for the existence of class antagonism and of class generally, and will thereby have abolished its own supremacy as a class. In place of the old bourgeois society with its classes and class antagonisms, we shall have an association in which the free development of each is the condition for the free development of all. Thank you.
What a marvelous reading. We have the ending. I'm Claudia again. And this is?
London.
You want to say it to the mic?
London.
Okay. I'm going to be reading in Spanish and London in English. Después de lo que dejamos dicho en el capítulo 2, fácil es comprender la relación que guardan los comunistas con los demás partidos obreros ya existentes, con los cartistas ingleses y con los reformadores agrarios de Norteamérica. Los comunistas, aunque luchando siempre por alcanzar los objetivos inmediatos y defender los intereses cotidianos de la clase obrera, representan a la par dentro del movimiento actual su porvenir. En Francia, se alían al Partido Democrático, socialista, contra la burguesía conservadora y radical, más sin renunciar por esto a su derecho de crítica frente a los tópicos y las ilusiones procedentes de la tradición revolucionaria. En Suiza apoyan a los radicales, sin ignorar que este partido es una mezcla de elementos contradictorios, de demócratas socialistas a la manera francesa y de burgueses radicales. En Polonia, los comunistas apoyan al partido que sostiene la revolución agraria, como condición previa a la emancipación nacional del país, al partido que provocó la insurrección de Cracovia en 1846. En Alemania, el Partido Comunista luchará al lado de la burguesía, mientras ésta actúe revolucionariamente, dando con ella la batalla a la monarquía absoluta, a la gran propiedad feudal y a la pequeña burguesía. Por todo esto, sin dejar un solo instante de laborar entre los obreros, hasta afirmar en ellos con la mayor claridad posible la conciencia del antagonismo hostil que separa a la burguesía del proletariado, para que llegado al momento los obreros alemanes se encuentren preparados para volverse contra la burguesía. Como otras tantas armas, esas mismas condiciones políticas y sociales que la burguesía, una vez que triunfe, no tendrá más remedio que implementar para que el instante mismo en que sean derrocadas las clases reaccionarias comience automáticamente la lucha contra la burguesía. Las miradas de los comunistas convergen con un especial interés sobre Alemania, pues no desconocen que este país está en vísperas de una revolución burguesa y que esa sacudida revolucionaria se va a desarrollar bajo las propicias condiciones de la civilización europea y con un proletariado mucho más potente que el de Inglaterra en el siglo XVII. Y el de Francia en el siglo XVIII. Razones todas para que la revolución alemana burguesa que se avecina no sea más que el preludio inmediato de una revolución proletariada. Resumiendo, los comunistas apoyan en todas partes, como se ve, cuántos movimientos revolucionarios se plantean contra el régimen social y político imperante. En todos estos movimientos se ponen de relieve en el régimen de la propiedad, cualquiera que sea la forma más o menos progresiva que revista como la cuestión fundamental que se ventila. Finalmente, los comunistas laboran por llegar a la unión y la inteligencia de los partidos democráticos de todos los países. Los comunistas no tienen por qué guardar encubiertas sus ideas e intenciones. Abiertamente declaran que sus objetivos solo pueden alcanzarse derrocando por la violencia todo el orden social existente. Tiemblen, si quieren, las clases gobernantes ante la perspectiva de una revolución comunista. Los proletarios, con ella, no tienen nada que perder. Como no sea sus cadenas, tienen un cambio, un mundo entero que ganar. Proletarios de todos los países, unidos.
The communists of the attainment The communists fight for the attainment of the immediate aims, for the enforcement of the momentary interest of the working class. But in the movement of the present, they also represent and take care of the future of the movement. In all these movements, they bring to the front as the leading question in each the property question, no matter what its degree of development at the time. Finally, they labor everywhere for the union and agreement of the democratic parties of all countries. A communist disdain to conceal their views and aims. They openly declare that their ends can be attained only by the forcible overthrow of all existing social conditions. Let the ruling class tremble at a communistic revolution. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Workers of the world, unite.
All power to the working class. All power
to the working class.
All power
to the working class.
Well, thank you so much for coming. We think this has been a very special occasion to celebrate Red Books Day. We want to send our message to our friends around the world in solidarity. Say something really loud. Hello? Yay? Hey! I think it's important, you know, so much repression, the attack on the left, on left bookstores, the kind of neo-fascism we see from Brazil to India to the U.S. to declare our aims openly. So thanks so much for coming. I think there's still some food. Really lovely to have you here. Feel welcome.